Welcome to the Pinterest Marketing Roadmap. We are going to look at your Pinterest marketing plan and strategy from a big picture point of view. And we're going to narrow down into each step to identify some milestones and talk about action steps at each place. The goal of this masterclass is for you to get an idea of what is possible on Pinterest and to know where you're headed, to know where you're going, but to also not feel all of the overwhelm that potentially comes with a really robust platform like Pinterest, because you're able to narrow in on what your next stop is along the journey and take steps towards that destination. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hi, I'm Catherine. If we don't already know each other, I am a Pinterest manager for brand photographers as well as some other photographers in other industries. I first started working with photographers and online coaches in 2018, supporting them with admin support as well as any system work or website management that they needed support with. Then 2020 came around and I dove into the world of Pinterest marketing, which was really fun. I loved the analytics side of Pinterest and understanding how it all works. And we'll get into that in a little bit. I got to help my clients that I was already helping find new potential clients for their businesses on Pinterest, which was a lot of fun. Now, fast forward to 2023, I started creating what is now this roadmap by creating a quiz for entrepreneurs to take to identify their next step in Pinterest marketing. And over the last couple of years, this has just developed and improved to be what I'm presenting to you now. So before we jump into the full roadmap, let's talk about the destination. So we are looking at Pinterest marketing, and I get asked all the time about how Pinterest actually helps businesses. Well, when you're scrolling on Pinterest, all of those pins connect to somebody's website and ultimately their business. So my clients find their clients through Pinterest by someone searching for inspiration for a photo shoot and then finding maybe a helpful blog or just a really beautiful photos from a photo shoot, and they happen to click from Pinterest to your website. So one of the reasons why I love Pinterest as a platform is because Pinterest actually wants people to leave their platform and go to your website, which is great for us for marketing purposes. So once the client's on your website, they're able to get to know you better and maybe take that next step into working with you. You're able to get their email and y'all are able to build a relationship through there. Pinterest is a place where potential clients can find you. That is our goal. It's also a really fun spot to collaborate with your current clients. So if you're not already using Pinterest to do photo shoot planning for clients you're currently serving, then you're missing out on a fun client experience piece that you can add to your workflow. What's really cool is when you start to see your photos on your clients' inspiration boards. Pinterest is also a platform where your marketing efforts are going to continue to work for you for years to come. Um, my clients still have top ranking pins that are 2 years old, 4 years old. So there's really not that much of a limit here. Content's going to live way longer than 24 hours. You are going to get longevity out of the content that you're creating on Pinterest today, tomorrow, next week. And so that begins to snowball and really become a platform that is easy for you to market on. And then finally, Pinterest can even be a new income source. The last step on our roadmap, we're going to look a little bit at how to use Pinterest for increasing your affiliate income. Before we get to the roadmap, you need to know that Pinterest is a search engine. Pinterest is like Google more than it is like Instagram, which If you are not already familiar with that, that can be a little bit mind-boggling. If you're used to just scrolling on Pinterest and looking at the pretty pictures, originally Instagram was your photo sharing app. We would just scroll on Instagram and look at the pretty pictures, right? Same thing. It's actually not. So when you go to Pinterest, the first thing you do is type in the search bar, and then Pinterest gives you results. So it's similar to how you would interact with Google. You type in the search bar on Google and you get a bunch of links to helpful websites. Well, attached to every image on Pinterest is a link to a helpful website that is associated with that image. Because Pinterest is a search engine, it does take longer for Pinterest to analyze your content and put it in front of the right people, put it in the results of the right searches. So you will want to revisit your strategy every 3 months, every 6 months, instead of making quick decisions. But the fact that it's a search engine is why your content lasts so long. Once Pinterest knows what type of search, what keywords in the search bar people are typing in that your content is relevant for, it's going to keep showing your content as long as it's still getting good user feedback. All right, so let's take a look at the journey. So this is an overview of the roadmap that we're going to go through. And we're going to dive into each of these steps in more detail. So, step one is a converting website. Step two, an optimized Pinterest account. Step three, blogging. Step four, optimizing your blog post for Pinterest. And then we want to look at your Pinterest SEO and strategy. And then finally, looking at making Pinterest a new income stream. So if you notice on this roadmap, Pinterest actually isn't in the majority of these stops because there's so much to a well-rounded Pinterest marketing strategy that all of these other pieces play a big factor into you being successful. So we want to give them the attention that they need. So step number one, you want a website that converts. So the goal of Pinterest is to drive more traffic to your site. You're going to have more eyes on your website looking at your content, and likely these people have never had any type of interaction with you. Your website is the only interaction they're having aside from that pin on Pinterest that they saw initially. So you want a website that actually explains what you do, that is visually appealing, that people are going to want to stay on and click around and visit other pages or opt into your email list. You want something that people want to see. So before you jump into Pinterest world, you first want a website that is appealing. You want to go ahead and create a landing page for your services, and you want clear next steps on how to work with you or how to get in contact with you if that's what you want people to do. The milestone I want you to reach here is to have at least one conversion from your website. So this could mean you sent the link to someone in your Instagram DMs, or maybe you met up in person, or maybe somebody visited your website from a business card you gave them. But we want to have at least one conversion where somebody went to your website, looked at your services, and said, yes, I want to work with this person. Most people that I talk to are already all set on this stop. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to go back and fine tune the small details on their website. You are in a good spot. But if you have a website that has a long block of text and maybe doesn't have a lot of visuals on it, then likely someone that found you on Pinterest isn't going to want to stay on that long. So you just want to make sure it is appealing to people that are going to be visiting it. Step number two, now we're going to create or optimize your Pinterest business account. So we don't want this to be our personal Pinterest account. We want a separate Pinterest business profile. And there's a few ways you can go about doing this. My preference as a Pinterest manager who's in the backside of a lot of these accounts is that you take your business email and you go and you create a brand new Pinterest account that is a business profile. because I don't want to be logging into your personal profile and then having to navigate through to find your business profile. And when you create a business profile that's connected to your personal profile, all of your accounts are also connected on the back end. Now, if you already have a Pinterest business account and it is connected to your personal profile, that is perfectly fine to just leave it and keep it that way. Honestly, it really is a personal preference for me. But while you're creating your business Pinterest account, or if you already have an account created that maybe you've been using with clients, let's go back and check and make sure that it's optimized. So I want you to do a little bit of Pinterest keyword research just by using the Pinterest search bar related to your niche. So for brand photographers, you can be typing in brand photographer or brand photography or brand photo shoot to get an idea of what type of things people are searching. So the results that pop down after you start typing in the search bar will show you the most popular searches. We want to use this information to help us optimize our profile. I'm going to hop over here to our milestones. We're going to include keyword that we found, the main one that we want to be ranking for, in our profile name. You're also going to include that keyword in your about section, the block of text that appears under your profile name. You want to include your keyword or even multiple keywords from that simple keyword research in that section, as well as your location. So if you're a photographer, you are typically a location-based business. Even if you travel, there are certain places you typically travel to. You want to include those terms in your about section because you have a lot of space there to do that. Next, we want to create some boards. So I want you to create at least 3 boards. You can have more, but 3 is a good place to start if you're just starting a brand new account. We want a board that is your brand name. For me, I think my brand board is sustainable strategy. And then I think I have a dash or a line and it says Pinterest expert or Pinterest marketing tips, something along those lines that say what my business name is and then what I do. You're going to want a board based on your location. If you are a Dallas-Fort Worth photographer, it can be DFW brand photographer, just something that's going to include that location name inside the board. And then finally, we want a board that is your niche. This can be short and simple. It can be that main term that you typed in the search bar earlier. For brand photographers, that's likely going to be a board that just has a board name that is brand photography. And once you create those boards, you can pin some high ranking pins to your relevant boards. I'm going to leave the brand board blank because I only want my content on the board that has my name on it. But any other boards that you have, go ahead and pin some of the pins that are suggested right after you create your board. Or you can go into the search bar, type the board name in, and then pin any of those top high ranking pins that are appearing at the top of your search onto your board. And what this is going to do, one, it's going to allow Pinterest to associate your board with those high performing pins. But two, once you start pinning your pins to that board, even if it's years from now, once you start putting your own content to that board, it's going to associate your content with that other content that's performing well, and therefore push out your content more to people that like those other pins that you saved. So you don't need to know all the nitty-gritty right now. Just know, create a few boards and pin some pins to them. We also want to claim our website. So you can do this in the settings. You're just going to copy and paste a piece of code and put it on the header of your website. It's going to look different for every website platform. I have some YouTube videos that show how to do this for different website platforms, or if you can't find help there, feel free to reach out to me if you have a different website platform. And then the last thing, if you are actually at stop 2, stop 3 is going to be related to blogging. So if you have not created a blog yet, I want you to go ahead and claim your Instagram and turn on auto posting. You're likely using Instagram for your business and creating content there. And we're going to take advantage of it. You can make it where all of your Instagram posts, the reels and the static post or the carousel posts, automatically show up on Pinterest. Now, later on, you will likely want to turn this off if you ever start working with a Pinterest manager or ever start managing your own account with a serious Pinterest strategy, because those Instagram pins aren't going to perform as well as pins that you're creating specifically for Pinterest. But if you're brand new and just starting out and you don't have pins to publish on Pinterest yet, go ahead and turn on auto posting. It's literally no time after you just click a button. There's no effort on your end to keep up with this, and you can see results from this. All right, that was a lot of information, but here are your big ideas all written out here. We're going to move on to stop number 3. Stop number 3 is blogging. So I want you to create your blog, and I want you to write blog posts that you will genuinely share with clients or potential clients. So think of questions that people ask you a lot while they're searching for a photographer. How can you educate your potential clients with a blog post where when somebody asks you a question, maybe you can say, "Hey, I wrote all about this in this blog post here. Would love for you to check it out and let me know if you have any more questions." Any information actual clients need to prepare, so maybe what to bring to your photo shoot, what to wear to your photo shoot, things that you can send your current clients as they're getting ready to prepare to show up for their photo shoot with you. And then I love, love, love when my clients will blog their clients. So they showcase their work, their photo shoot, and it essentially serves as a portfolio page for you, because you are sharing your previous work samples. And these tend to be the most popular on Pinterest because there's so much we can do with them on the Pinterest side of things. Then you also want to write blogs about your location. What are your favorite places to shoot? If you have a studio, what's your studio? If you don't have a studio, what are your favorite studios to go to? Where do you like to go outdoors? If you're a wedding photographer, what venues have you shot at? What are your favorite venues? So anything where you can tie your location in is going to help you find people that are close to you and in your area. So before we move on from this step, I want you to have a consistent blogging routine. I don't want you to just be blogging here and there. I want it to be a part of your routine, whether that's every time you finish a photo shoot with a client, you create a blog, or whether that's creating one blog a month or one blog a week. Figure out how it can fit into your schedule. And then I want you to have at least 5 blogs written. They don't have to be published, but at least the copy is written before you move on to stop number 4. Stop number 4 is still about blogging. So we want to create pinnable blog posts. And when I say pinnable, I mean that somebody can go to your blog and click pin it, and it's going to go to Pinterest. We want your blog optimized for Pinterest. And there's really 2 parts to this. There's the part I mentioned where somebody's on your blog and they can actually pin it to Pinterest. The other part of this stop is I want someone to leave Pinterest and go to your website and actually be able to take those next steps with you. So, a few things you want to do here. You want to add images and pin graphics that are optimized for Pinterest. So, the pin size for Pinterest is 1,000 by 1,500 pixels. You want to add images that size to your blog post. If this size is slowing down your page and you want one smaller, you can do 600 by 900, but I would do one of those 2 sizes. This one here is what is optimal for Pinterest. And then I want you to turn on the pin it feature on your blog. It's typically a little red circle above a photo. It hovers like on at the corner of a photo that when somebody clicks on it, it allows them to pick a board on their Pinterest account and save it directly from your website. Pinterest loves when people do this. So being able to turn on this feature is really supportive for your business. If you have a Wix website, you are not able to do this. So just keep that in mind. You can skip this step. And there's other things where you can work around this to make the strategy still work for Wix websites. But Wix right now is not very compatible with Pinterest, and you're not able to turn this feature on your blogs. Okay, we also want to check our blogs to make sure they have a call to action to get on your email list. This can either be something at the end of the blog post, where maybe you're promoting your freebie or just promoting your email list in general, or it can be a pop-up. It doesn't have to necessarily be embedded in the blog. If you have a pop-up that comes on your website after someone's scrolled so far or spent so long on your site, that encourages them to jump on your email list, that is great as well. We really want those people that are leaving Pinterest and coming to our website to have a way to stay in touch with us. If they give us their email, we're able to introduce ourselves, we're able to get to know them more and start that line of communication, which is really what we want. I also want you to have a clear path for next steps in working with you. I have had clients, there's one particular story where someone has found them on Pinterest through one of their pins, read their blog, consumed all their website, right? And immediately said, I want to work with you. It was a four-figure offer, and they applied to work with them right there. When people are on Pinterest, they're already problem aware because they're typing in the search engine. So you're gonna have people that are more likely ready to convert, but we still want the option to grab their email if maybe they're not ready to book us just yet. But in order for them to know how to book us, you need to have clear next steps. So in your blog post, if you're including a like about the photographer or about the author section, you can easily say, if you're interested in booking a photo shoot, here's the contact page for you to fill out, or here's the link to book a discovery call, or here's my services page. However you want them to go about those next steps. This is a stop where you may live in for a little bit. I want you to pin each of your blog posts at least once. So going into Pinterest and using this feature we have here for other people to pin our blog, you can use that to pin your own blog. Pinterest is going to pull in data from your website to create the title and the description. So this is the simple, easy way to pin. It's just a click, pin it on your blog post, and have it go to Pinterest. So I want you to do that for each of your blogs. If you've been blogging for years, go back and pin one of the images or a pin graphic that has text on it for every blog you have to your Pinterest. I don't recommend doing 40 blogs all in one day. I wouldn't do more than 5 probably. So just do a handful here and then move on. Word of warning, you do not want to pin the same link, so you don't want to pin the same blog post more than once on the same day. Pinterest equates this with a spammy behavior, and if your account gets flagged as spam, Pinterest will shut down your account, and it's not fun to recover it and to build it back up after being marked as spam. One thing you never want to do is pin a certain link more than once on the same day. Along those same lines, I'm not going to get into why it's along the same lines, but don't ever pin your home page directly to Pinterest. So that's why we created a services page. You can pin your services page, and then you can pin your individual blog posts to Pinterest. Milestone, pin all of your content Milestone number 2 for this stop, I want you to have other people pin your blog post. This comes with sharing your blog post, so being excited about them and sharing them with people, sharing them with your clients. If you're creating a client photo shoot blog, sharing them with the client that you just took a photo shoot of, and maybe suggesting, hey, you should save some of these images to your Pinterest inspiration board so that they're easy for you to look back on and you have them next time you're planning a photo shoot. But get creative about ways that you can get other people to engage with your blog posts and save them to Pinterest. We want to see this before we get into our next step. It's not necessarily a requirement, but when you jump into the Pinterest strategy of things, your account is going to do so much better if you already have other people pinning your content for you. In Pinterest, if you jump over to the analytics, as long as you've claimed your website, you will be able to see these pins that other people have pinned, and you'll still get stats for them. So that's one way you can check to see if this has actually happened. So we're going to head over to stop 5. All right, stop 5. We're at Pinterest SEO and strategy. SEO stands for search engine optimization. Once you get to stop 5, I will say this is likely where you do want to hire someone. I would recommend hiring a Pinterest expert, a Pinterest manager, even if it's just for Pinterest strategy, to get you started on Pinterest, if not to completely manage it for you, because it's going to save you so much time and it's also just going to save you a lot of headache, to be honest. Because Pinterest is a search engine, there's a lot that goes into it. It's taken me like years to learn all of these different strategies and SEO concepts to apply to my clients' accounts. And so I don't want you to waste your time trying to do it all yourself with learning all these different techniques. But in stop 5, you want to take into account Pinterest keywords. So that's what most people talk about when they're talking about Pinterest SEO. Doing keyword research well beyond what you did when you first optimized your account. I spend hours doing this when I first get a new client. It's something you want to have an idea of all the possible keywords for every blog post, for every like aspect of your niche and your industry and the clients that you work with, because this is going to allow you to rank higher in more searches. It's going to allow more people to find you, and it's going to make sure you're getting found by the right people. So this part's really important. You don't want to skip it. You also want to do a little bit of Pinterest trends analysis. This comes with seasonality, so when are certain topics trending and at what time of year, but also just general trends. So sometimes certain keywords rank higher at certain times of the year, or maybe you can see what keywords in like terminology. So for photographers, photo shoot versus photo session versus photo space shoot. Those are things that I analyze a lot and look at what is working. I also compare that with the term photography. There's so many different small things that you can look at. And so analyzing what trends are happening, what type of words are people searching, and even what type of words is Pinterest suggesting for people to search. Next, we have interest. This is one way that Pinterest is different from Google. With Google, you're also doing search engine optimization for your blog posts, but Pinterest SEO, we have something called interest. And this is how Pinterest on the back end categorizes all of our content. If you know what those categories are that Pinterest could potentially be like categorizing your content in, and you're able to communicate to Pinterest clearly what that interest should be, it's going to allow Pinterest to, one, categorize your content more quickly, two, trust you and your whole profile more, and ultimately, three, rank your content quicker and rank your content higher in those search results. And then we also want to get a customized Pinterest strategy. Every business is different on Pinterest, And so you want to think through what is going to work best for you and be able to analyze these results and improve the strategy as you go along. So, milestones for step 5. I want you to be generating outbound clicks regularly, and I want you to have impressions that are predictable with a daily minimum and a daily maximum. So we want that minimum to be up off the bottom numbers. And essentially we would want our impressions graph, if you're looking at the analytics tab, to look like a wave. So you're still going to have highs and lows with the different weeks and when people are on Pinterest, but we want those highs and lows to be predictable so that we can start to see a trend. So new accounts are going to be more jumpy. They're going to spike up and down while Pinterest is still getting to know you and getting to know your content. But mature accounts are going to have that wave pattern. We're looking to jump into maturity before we go to our final stop. This is somewhere where you're going to live for a while. Like I said, Pinterest takes time. The pins you pin today are going to support you years from now, but it really takes time to build that up and to get into that mature account status. But once you get there, this is a strategy that I am excited to share about and looking to help more clients with adding affiliate income into your Pinterest strategy so that Pinterest isn't just a platform for you to make money off of because you're landing new clients, but you are generating income from the affiliate programs that you have attached to your Pinterest pins. So on Pinterest, if you get on your phone, you're on your Pinterest personal account. When you click on a pin, it's not every pin because you can turn it on and off. But most pins, when you click on them and it's of a photo, it pops up with these white dots and it leads you to where you can potentially shop for maybe someone's top or their shoes. You can add affiliate tagging into your Pinterest strategy so that you are making affiliate income off these sales. Pinterest is going to do it regardless of whether you're tagging your content or not. So you might as well be benefiting from the content that you're creating and putting out there by connecting it to your affiliate programs. You want to start with your highest performing pins, which is why we want to go ahead and get a mature account. We don't want to be putting in all this work for the brand new pins that we're creating. We're going to wait and start working on the ones that are going to perform the best. And then our goal here is to generate your first affiliate dollar from Pinterest. So Pinterest marketing is a long journey, and I don't want you to be overwhelmed by that, but I want you to see what is possible and be excited about what all is possible with Pinterest. I want to encourage you to keep going. Find the step you're on and just focus on going through that step. And then maybe take some time before you jump into the next step if that's what you need. And then come back, revisit Pinterest again, say, what do I need to do next? And then jump into the next step. And as you improve on Pinterest, it's also only going to improve your searches with Google because more people are visiting your website, more people are engaging with your posts, and Google is only going to like this more and more and allow your blog posts and your content to rank higher there as well. So the two work hand in hand.